Hello there, I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot of the United States Air Force, flying the Boeing 777-300ER tonight's flight from Zurich International Airport. We're going to be overflying Zurich, Switzerland, Germany, and then coming back to the Zurich International Airport, runway 14 for an ILS localizer. Landing around 9 in the cockpit for the takeoff preparation of the PMPG simulation Microsoft Flight Simulator X Boeing 777-300 ERX. I'm gonna start showing you the cockpit instruments and the displays of the Boeing 777-300 ERX aircraft. I'm gonna start with the primary flight display. I will show you the airspeed indicated, the airspeed selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, um, the radio altitude above the ground level, the altitude, the barometric altitude above the sea level indicated, and also the altitude selected from the autopilot and flight director system panel, the FDS, the radio altitude above the ground level, the barometric pressure of the outside atmosphere, the magnetic north pole and true north pole, and the magnetic variation depending on where we are in the world. We have the magnetic heading or track. We have the attitude indicator with the ILS localizer crossbars and the flight director crossbars for manual guidance of the aircraft. We have the autopilot crossbars for automatic guidance of the aircraft, and also the pitch ladder in degrees and the bank angle in degrees. We have also the angle of attack of the aircraft as it flies through the airstream, and also the flight mode annunciator with the autopilot and the autothrottle. Later on, in vertical navigation modes, we have the navigation display that displays the airports, the waypoints, the nav aids, uh, the GPS position of the aircraft. We have other aircraft flying around our aircraft displayed in the navigation display using the transponder, the ADSP and ATSC transponder that transmits and receives our own position and altitude and heading, and receives from other aircraft, and shows also the altitude separation and the distance in nautical miles from our seat. So you can see in the navigation display using the TICA system, traffic collision alert system, that warns you about other aircraft. Also, we have, as I told you, the terrain weather reflections using the weather radar reflections. We have so you can see the terrain level in the terrain map. You can see green, yellow, and red. Also, you can see the magnetic heading or track the magnetic north pole and true north pole, and the magnetic variation again depending on where we are in the world. The ground speed, the next waypoint we're going to be overflying, and the GPS position, and the NP and the RMP, the acquired navigation performance and the required navigation performance. We have also we're gonna create a flight plan using the flight management computer. We're gonna input our own airport, the departure runway, the seats, the standard instrument departure fixes, the dermated waypoints, and the stars, the standard terminal arrival, and the destination airport and runway. So we're gonna have a complete route for the aircraft to follow automatically using the autopilot or manually using our own navigation. So you're gonna have the later on the vertical navigation profile of the aircraft from takeoff, climb, cruise, descent and approach, and then landing in the runway. So we're gonna select also after that we're gonna see the autopilot and flight director system, the SDS. I will explain you about the autopilot engage and disengage switch, the autothrottle left and autothrottle right engage and disengage switch, the flight director engage and disengage switch. We have also the airspeed select knob. We select the airspeed in nautical miles per hour, knot or Mach speed. So we have two main kind of modes for the thrust produced from the engines of this aircraft. So we have the turbofan turbojet engines, the G90 General Electric 90 installed in our aircraft, one in the left wing and one in the right wing for symmetrical thrust and redundancy. So we have the fixed thrust mode for takeoff, ground, climb, maximum continuous thrust or maximum flight thrust, which is a fixed thrust mode. Then we have for descent the idle thrust mode, and also we have cruise and up for approach and landing the variable thrust mode. So you will see that we have a flight level change, the speed with the autothrust hold, and also the climb continuous mode. We have also the LNAV and the VNAV, the lateral navigation, the vertical navigation of the aircraft, which is interconnected and overlapped by the flight management computer input. So you're gonna have the later on the vertical navigation of the aircraft from the autopilot using the data from the flight management computer flight plan we have created. So I will show you that also. We have also the bank angle limit and the heading hold, heading select switch. We have the heading hold switch. We have the vertical rate of climb and descent of the aircraft in tens, hundreds, and thousands of feet per minute, and the flight path angle in degrees, either one. And we can use the slider for selecting how fast the aircraft will climb or descend. We have also the altitude select. Then the altitude hold switch, and we have the bore localizer for Lszh localizer approach, and the approach switch for the auto land function of the Boeing 777-300 ER airplanes. So I'm gonna show you then the thrust levers, how to use the thrust levers to adjust the thrust produced from the General Electric United engine from the Boeing 777-300 ER airplane. This beautiful airline. So I'm gonna start now. So we have about an hour and 7 minutes for this video to end. So I will explain you then for the thrust levers, how you have to adjust the thrust and use the interconnection of the auto throttle and auto thrust from the autopilot flight director system panel, and also the flight management computer input. Then I will show you, I'm talking about the flight theory of the aircraft, about the Newton's first, second, and third laws of motion of pneumatics, the planetary fluids, how the lift has been produced by the wings using the airflow of the air mass as the aircraft moves forward. Also by using the propulsion, the forward propulsion from the engines. Also I will talk to you about after that the flight controls. I will show you the yoke, how to use the elevator, the control column, and also the ailerons, the spoilers, the yoke, and also the rudder pedal, and the nose wheel steering. I will show you the tiller, I will show you the flaps and the flaps. Then I will come to the overhead panel, talk to you about the electrical, the left and the right engine, integrated drive generators, the ADG, the batteries, the APU, how to start the engine using the APU if you are in cold and dark mode, and also using the batteries. How also use other systems like the hydraulic, left and the right engine driving, hydraulic pumps, the electrical backup C1 and C2. Also we have the ability to return administer reference unit, the primary flight control computers. We have the electronic engine controls for the engines, the EC with the auto start that controls also the FADEX. The FADEX are the full authorities, the electronic control computers that control the engine functions. I will show you later. Also we have the fuel tanks, the sender, the left wing and the right wing, and also the forward and the aft pumps, the corrosive valves and the fuel valves for the engines, and the high pressure fuel valves. I will show you the wing and engine anti-ice, and also the pressurizer system from the APU we need for starting the engine, and also the left engine and right engine pressurizer bleeder system we need for cabin pressurization. We need an engine anti-ice, air conditioning, ventilation, and also for the hydraulic fluid tanks pressurization. So thank you very much one more time for joining me. I'm Thomas Hatsios, the British American pilot flying the night flight. So I'll start now on showing you the cockpit inside. You can see the layout. I hope you like it. The Boeing 777, and we have 1 hour and 4 minutes left for this video to end, because we only have 4 gigabytes now. So you can see around the aircraft, the layout, the wings. Hope you like it. and also look around in further distance around the airport that we are located. Right now we're gonna use a runway, either one. So I'm gonna start now again. You can see here we have the flight controls for climb, descent, bunker left and bunker right, and also use the rudder pedals for directional steering of the aircraft, the thrust levers. You can see if I move the thrust levers forward, the speed brakes retract automatically. They extend only when you have the thrust at idle position. Also they extend automatically if you use the thrust reverse. Also later you can see the engine left and right, the flaps position, the landing gear here is down. I will talk to you now later about that. So you can see the primary flight display, the airspeed indicated, the airspeed selected from the autopilot flight director system panel displayed with purple or says that the ground speed is 0 right now, so the aircraft is not moving. The barometric altitude above the sea level is 1,430 feet, with this barometric pressure of the outside atmosphere 39.92 inches of mercury. We have the radio altitude above the ground level, the magnetic heading and track, the pitch ladder in degrees, and the bank angle in degrees. And here you have the rate of climb and descent of the aircraft. This state if the needle points above, you have the positive rate of climb. If the needle points below the altitude, then you have a descent. So you need, for instance, if you want to approach and land, you need to use around 500 feet per minute, which is between here the 0 and the 1 in the middle, or even less than that. So if you climb, you have to use like 2,000 feet per minute. So we have the altitude selected from the autopilot flight director system panel. You can see the flight director of the crossbars with purple now. It's from manual takeoff guidance here, because we have the takeoff go run mode arm in the flight mode annunciator. So we are set for takeoff. We have the angle of attack of the aircraft. You can see the ticks here, 2.5 degrees, 5, 7.5, 10 degrees, 12.5, 15, 17.5, 20. So it's the same one for positive climb or for a descent. Also the bank angles, you can see like 45 degrees here, approximately 30, 33, maybe about 20 degrees here. So I will show you now. You can set also the meters here if you want display meters, and hectopascals over here. You have the magnetic heading or track. Here you can set the true north pole instead of the magnetic, like this. Pressing this and you have the true, you can see, which is displayed in the maps. So you can navigate using the true north pole instead of the magnetic, and you will see here the true north pole. Also you can set the magnetic again, and you see the compass moving around between the magnetic. So you have the track here with the magnetic north pole. You have now hectopascals over here, 1013 hectopascals. So we will set here, I will talk to you now about the navigation display and how to change the values over here. Maybe I'll show you first how to change the values here. So you can set the auto throttle left, auto throttle right. You will see the auto throttle right now is off over here, so it's warning you have only one auto throttle on. Now both off. We have the flight director. If we use the flight director off, it will disarm any mode we have on. This is also compressor, so you can change some mode. You can run. So we set the airspeed for takeoff. indicated airspeed or max speed. We have also other modes like which do not arm right now. Climb continues over here. LNAV and VNAV. The bank angle of the aircraft as it flies, the limit for the autopilot. This is the autopilot engage switch, the heading select. So we'll set the heading for 136 degrees, which is the runway heading we use for takeoff. So magnetic heading, we can use the hold also, the altitude here. You can arm and disarm like this, autopilot disengage. So we set the altitude like this, the 5,300. You can set either one, hold, flight level change, or altitude. So now you will see a different kind of layout. Over here in the primary flight display you can see the altitude 25,300 feet or 7,710 meters, the target. Also the target airspeed 253 feet, 253 knots, excuse me, or nautical miles per hour, 1013 hectopascals, the barometric altitude setting. So we use again inches of mercury if you are located in North America, so you can use inches of mercury, and you can see also the meters that we are above the sea level, 436 or 1430 feet. You can see also the flight director is different with the flight level change over here, a different mode, flight level change and heading hold. So we can set a couple more modes. We can set the autopilot on. You'll see the autopilot on. Different mode now. Autopilot flight level change and heading hold again. So we'll set now altitude hold instead of flight level change. So you have a different thrust mode for takeoff and climb. Also, we can use this the vertical speed flight path angle. You can see we have the negative flight path angle, like it will display like -3.5 degrees. You will have it here negative angle for descent from a cruise level, like the -3.5 degrees over here, which is below the horizon line. You can see the two purple. So if we make this, you can see the flight path angle, the FPA now, engage it. We can make this positive again, a positive climb angle now. Or we can leave neutral, so you have 3.5 degrees. For climb, you will see the FPA, the flight path angle, over here with the heading hold, and you will see the purple, the two purple in the pitch ladder. These marks in the crossbars in the left and right over here, so you can see we have to climb with this pitch rate. So we can use the other mode instead, feet per minute, like -2,000 feet per minute. You'll see the minus over here in the rate of climb tick mark. So you have to descend. The aircraft will probably descend like this, or you can follow the flight directors. And now you can use the positive rate of climb, like 3,500 feet. You can see the slider moving. The up and the down. So now we have a positive climb over here. You can see above the 2,000 for this target altitude again, and this target airspeed 253, and also the target heading magnetic 136 degrees over here, which is the runway heading we have over there. So we have to make a couple more things and settings. I will show you how to disengage the autopilot. Now it's engaged, so you pull out this, you'll see autopilot disconnect and the warning. So you have the red letters here, the warning autopilot is disconnect, and you see no flight director over here. So we cancel the warning, press this in up again, and we re-engage the autopilot. So you can see this disengages, at least the autopilot disengages. So we'll use another way to disengage the autopilot. We can move this control column, or we can just press this switch over here, the autopilot disengage in the control wheel. So you have the warning again, and you can see the autopilot is disconnected again over here with the red letters. So we press one more time to confirm the disconnection action and stop the warning. So we have a few more minutes left to go. So I will start talking to you now about the navigation display, and then about the thrust levers. You can see the navigation display over here. Displays the terrain and the weather reflection from the weather radar. You can see the elevation 6,100 feet. Maximum here is the Switzerland, and you can see this blue names for letter code is the airports that we can see. 0 feet is the minimum displayed, the valleys over here, and the intermediate is yellow. So you can change the range. You will see different elevation for the radar. Also you can see other aircraft flying around us. So you can see here is Switzerland mainly, here is the France, and here is Germany. So France is with Germany, and Switzerland here, where is the Swiss Alps and the mountains. You can see magnetic through North Pole, magnetic North Pole in the heading that we have the distance 160 nautical miles here, 80, 40. So you can change the range. You can see the GPS. We have the required navigation performance and the acquired navigation performance in nautical miles, and the GPS position of the aircraft. You can see the GPS coordinates. We'll fix this later with the flight management computer. It's this offset using the ADIRU, the Air Data and Lszh Reference Unit over here. The Air Data and Lszh Reference Unit that controls and displays all the air data you see here from the pitot dynamic and pitot static, like the airspeed, the altitude, the radio altitude, the magnetic heading and track, magnetic North Pole to North Pole magnetic variation. And we have the GPS, also 2 or 3 GPS receivers. Different aircraft have more GPS receivers, also controlled by the ADIRU over here in the overhead panel, this small switch, and also the gyroscopic acceleration and deceleration of the aircraft. All this controlled by the ADIRU over here. So you need now also you can see also we have the weather radar over here, the switches, and the TICA system that receives and transmits our own position, other aircraft position using the TICA system, and generates the warning. You can change the modes and also the code which is transmitted. You can see the warning here generated for an incoming traffic. Also you can change the distance. You can make it closer like this. You can see the scan of the radar, different elevation levels, 80 nautical miles, also a bit different. so you can maximize 160 like had it before. You will see the radar scanning. So I will show you a couple more things now. We have about 30 minutes off, so we start the video. So I will talk to you now about perhaps about the engines, about the thrust levers, about the flaps and the slots. You can see the navigation display, what displays. So you can see these displays will have the upper and the lower ACAS engine indication control alert system that display permanently information from mainly the upper is for the engine, and you can see also the flaps and the landing gear is down. So you have the alternate gear over here. You can retract or extend. You can see the auto brake over here, maximum auto reject takeoff, and the flap limit, and the Boeing 777 here, the mark of the aircraft. We have some other, so I will show you now. You can see the flaps are extended to 30 degrees or full right now. Over here you can set the flaps up and down, which increase or decrease the surface area of the wings and the lift produced by the wings. The speed brakes also extend and retract. I will talk to you about the horizontal trim stabilizer over here, the trim tabs, and also the parking brake up and down, the horizontal trim position, and also the cutout for the horizontal trim stabilizer. You have the hydraulic fluid failure. So you can see we have the pit trim here for the horizontal tail trim stabilizer. You can trim up and trim down, and you will see the position going up and down, and you can see the green band is for takeoff. So you can use also these tabs, the normal and the alternate. You can see nose up and nose down. If you want to have pits or up or pits down, you can have if you have a failure of the C or the R hydraulic, you will disconnect the auto trim function from the autopilot and the auto throttle. So you will have only manual horizontal trim stabilizer. The horizontal trim stabilizer moves up and down the horizontal tail of the aircraft as you fly. So you can balance the aircraft in fly using the horizontal trim position of the horizontal tail. You have also for a vertical tailing for the ailerons, as you can see. So you disconnect like this, and you have only manual if you have the C or the R hydraulic failure. So the autopilot, if you move it in the cutout, won't have the auto trim system. You have only the manual here. So you can set the trim stabilizer. You can also see we have the aileron trim here, the position, and the rudder trim here. And you have the aileron trim tabs here. You can move them left and right, and also the rudder, the vertical rudder stabilizer. This is for the flight controls. I will show you how to use the flight controls to control the aircraft. So I will have to come to the engines. I will talk to you now about the upper and the lower engine indication controller system display. The ACAS, you can see also we have the total fuel here, some secondary information, the temperature of the fuel, and the outflow valves from the engines, and the pressure. It will increase the thrust lever, you will see. This is also for the cabin pressurization. So I will come now. We have the engine, the left and the right wing engine. You can see the indication of this part here. You can see 32%, which is the N1, which is the low speed starter and SAF, the low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbojet engines. 32%, the maximum continuous or takeoff thrust 104.6% for take. We have also the exhaust gas temperature per engine, left and right wing engine, the outflow air pressure from the engine. The N2, which is the high-speed starter and stuff, below the high pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan turbojet engine. This section of the engine will have a fuel flow per engine per hour, 1000 kilograms, 1000 pounds. This is the lower ACAS. We have the oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity, and the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine. In this, we have the flight management computer here. We'll use later. You can see we have the keypad here. We have numerical. So we have the thrust levers here. I will show you. And we have 35 minutes left. So you can see the thrust levers. We can adjust the thrust by moving the thrust levers up, forward. You can have the speed brakes retracted. You will see also the thrust here indicated. As I told you, the N1 close gas temperature. You can see the difference. The actual and the commanded thrust lever position also. We have differential thrust like this. To move one thrust lever at a time, you will see differential thrust over here. Also the other side, you can move like this. You will see more thrust in this side than in the other side. Also we have the takeoff go around switch. We have the auto throttle disconnect over here. You can disconnect the auto thrust from either side. If you press this switch, we have the thrust reverse also. If you move this up, if you have the speed brakes retracted, they will extend automatically once you move the thrust levers to the idle and you extend the thrust reverse. You will see the reverse thrust over here with green. And if you look outside, you will see the thrust reverses the blocker doors, reverse the flow from the forward. From the bypass actually. So you can retract again. You will see the blocker doors retract. Also the speed brakes retract. You can extend again. You will see the thrust reverse extend. Also the other side, the forward, you can see you can retract, and also the speed brakes also retract. You can extend again. Thrust reverse extend over here and retract. So this is how you use the thrust reversers. So we have about 35 less minutes for this video 20. So I'll show you the flight controls in a while. So I'll talk to you now about the engines. We have the turbofan turbojet engines, the General Electric 1990 installed in our Boeing 737-300ER aircraft, in one in the left wing, one in the right wing, for symmetrical thrust and redundancy. We use this for forward thrust propulsion, move the aircraft forward and generate lift from the wings as we accelerate the airflow, the air mass around the wings. So I will show you also that. So for this aircraft, I will tell you now about the FAREX also. We have the FAREX installed in our aircraft, one in the left wing engine, one in the right wing engine. Dual channel redundancy, sometimes the other takes over. Also control and monitor and display all the indications using the upper and the lower ACAS, the indication into a Lszh system like the one, which is the low speed starter and start the low pressure compressor and turbine of the turbofan engine, the exhaust gas temperature per engine, the outflow pressurized air from the piston and ninth stage. Also the N2, which is the high speed starter and start the high pressure compression turbine of the turbofan engine, oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity, the fuel flow per engine per hour, and the vibration of the N2 stage of the engine. Also control and monitor the engine start, engine start down, the fuel flow and the fuel optimization. So we climb or we descend to higher or lower altitudes. We have different air pressure and density and also different temperature, and also the aircraft can fly higher airspeed or lower airspeed, so we can have a different flow of air stream into the engines for the compression and the fuel air mixture. This is created also by the FADEC, the Flught electronic control computers. They also control the pressure inside the engine, so we have an overpressure inside the engine. They can open the outflow valves in higher stage to relieve the pressure. We have another pressure that they close it, so they can increase the pressure. So this is a few of the things the FADEC, the Flught electronic control computers can do. So it's a good thing to have. And now we'll talk to you about the flight theory of the Boeing 777-300ER airplane. So for this aircraft, I will talk to you about the takeoff speeds. We have right now 254,000 kilograms of takeoff weight of 531,000 pounds. We have about 46,000 kilograms or 102,000 pounds of fuel on board, which is about 30% of the total fuel it can take for takeoff. We have only 30,000 kilograms of passenger and cargo on board, or 46,000 pounds. So in total we have 254,000 kilograms of 521,000 pounds for takeoff, which is below the maximum takeoff weight. So we're gonna need to use 15 degrees of flaps and 4 degrees of horizontal trim stabilizer for this speed stream. For this runway length and also conditions, if it is dry, wet or ice, and the wind, we have also the altitude of the pressure and the temperature of the outside atmosphere. So we use the pressure above the sea level. We are 1,430 feet above the sea level, so we climb higher, we have lower pressure and density, and also we have lower temperature. So also we need to accelerate into the takeoff speed about 154 nautical miles per hour, 154 knots, or about 270 kilometers per hour just for takeoff, to generate the necessary lift force from the wings. The lift is the force that makes the aircraft climb into the air. It overcomes the weight of the aircraft, that is equal to the mass of the aircraft and the aircraft acceleration depending on where we are in the world. Also, the thrust from the engine will overcome the static and kinetic friction of the air into the aircraft to generate the propulsion. So we need to overcome the stall speed and have the lift from the wings. So the stall speed is speed at which the wings of the aircraft won't generate the lift necessary. It's going to make the aircraft fall back into the ground. So for a given angle of attack, I mean airspeed and flat positions. So I will also show you now the outside view of the aircraft and talk to you about a few things like the Newton's first, second, and third law kinematics of motion, the Bernoulli theory of fluids, about physics and aeronautical and aerospace engineering and mathematics. So you can derive some equations and some principles about the aircraft science. So I will say now we have here the outside view. You can see how it's symmetrical, and also the engines, the left and the right wing that produce the thrust also are symmetrical. This position with the wings and also the longitudinal, the vertical axis and the lateral axis. So they move forward the aircraft, the propulsion by the engines. Also you can see we have the wings, the surface area of the wings holds the weight of the aircraft as it flies, is the lift produced by the wings, by the airstream of the airflow. You can see here we have the mean aerodynamic chord position. About 85% of the chord of the wing is the position of the maximum aerodynamic lift and pressure, and the position where the stall begins, the airflow of the air becomes detached from the wing. You can see we have also the center of gravity here of the aircraft. Approximately we can move the center of gravity forward or aft by shifting passenger, cargo and fuel into the aircraft. You can see also You can see here we have the horizontal tail I will talk to you about later, and the moment arm. So I'll come here. You can see the thrust from the engines. For thrust, you can see the wings. You can see the bottom surface of the wings is more flat than the top, so the airflow as the air travels through the wings, as the aircraft accelerates, is moving slower below the wings, so the pressure of the air is higher below the wing and pressurizes the wings up into the air. As we accelerate to takeoff speed, we have positive air pressure below the wings. You can see the surface of the wings above is more curved, it has higher curvature. So the airflow of the airstream, using again the Bernoulli theory of fluids, is moving much faster above the wings, so it makes a lower air pressure, a negative air pressure above the wings, which sucks the wings up into the air. So you have the differential pressure below and above the wing. This makes the aircraft climb into the air. You have also other airflow deflections by the ailerons and the spoilers, so you can turn the aircraft inside, left and right. Also use the vertical or the horizontal tail for that. So you can see we have the moment arm. It's the distance from the center of gravity all the way back to the horizontal tail, or the ailerons and the spoilers, or the vertical tail. So you have the moment arm is times the distance from the center of gravity back to the horizontal tail over the surface area of the horizontal tail, or the elevator or the rudder, times the airflow of the air mass per second, times the acceleration of the Earth's gravity, and you have the moment arm that pitches up or pitches down the aircraft. You make a climb or descent, also turn left and turn right. So you turn, make these forces happen using Newton's physics again in aeronautical and aerospace engineering. So this is also necessary for the air transport license. So since you know, so you have to come inside the aircraft and show you how to use the flight controls, and then show you the overhead panel. So I'll start with the flight controls, show you how I use the side stick in this simulation. So I'll start with that now. So you can see here we have again the wing, the flight controls. So you can see the side stick. We control the horizontal tail and the ailerons and the spoilers in the left and the right wing, and also the rudder pedals like this. So you can climb, you can see better like this. So you can climb, you can descend, you can leave neutral, you can also bank roll left and bank roll right. You can see this flight control deflection. The side stick is symmetrical to the yoke, also the rudder pedals for the vertical stabilizer. You can see both are interconnected, the left side and the right side. We have also the tiller for the nose wheel steering in the ground. So we advance the thrust levers also like this, up and down. You will see the thrust levers also move. So you can use also the horizontal trim stabilizer like this. So this is all the explanation for the flight control. You have full flight controls, deflection like this, just like in the Airbus area. Now I'll show you the upside view of the same principle in the wings. So you will see the wings movement, the flight control movement, the flight control surface movement. So you can see I can climb, I can descend, also bank roll left and bank roll right. You see the surfaces, the flight controls moving around proportionally, symmetrically to the side stick. I can leave neutral, climb, descend, also make left and make right, and also the horizontal trim stabilizer up and down. So this is all the explanation for the flight controls. Now we'll come to the overhead panel and the manufacturing display before making an engine start demonstration. So you can use also the APU to see how you need to start the engine. So we'll come now inside the overhead panel and make the engine start process, and also use the flight management computer to make a flight plan and then make a whole flight. I'll show you some takeoff plan, cruise descent, and then coming back to the airport for landing to the runway. So you can see here we have a few minutes left. So we have like 11 minutes left for this. I will have to be a little bit more swift for that. Come here in the overhead upper panel. You can see this is for the hydraulic fluid disconnection for maintenance in the ground. This is the circuit breakers of the aircraft. Also you can reset the circuit breakers position. You can see a nice view here of the cockpit from this side. So this is the overhead panel of the systems. You can see also again more nicer, maybe more flat view of the surface here, and the displays and the controls, the autopilot displays again. Over here the upper and the lower, speed brakes, extend rig truck. Over here we use the flaps at 15 degrees. Over here you can see how many degrees you can move up and down the flaps. So like ready now it's 15, like 5. So now we'll use 15 degrees over here. We'll display 15 degrees. You can see also the landing gear up and down. So this is a few of the things you can see here. Now we'll come to the overhead panel. You can see we have this is the electrical system. This is the hydraulic main. This is the fire control for the cargo. Also the electronic engine control, left and right wing engine, fuel jettison, fuel tanks and pumps, hydraulic system, I told you, left and right engine, and the bleeder from the left and the right engine, and from the APU the cabin pressurization also. So I'll start with the electrical. You can see we have the left and the right wing. IDT, the great drive generators that produce alternate current, 120,000 kilovolts, 400 Hz frequency. Alternate current, we have the batteries for constant current. We have the ADIRU, the primary flight control computers over here, thrust asymmetry compensator. We started the APU. Now we'll show you the hydraulics. I will turn them off all, so you will see what happens when we turn off the hydraulics. Over here you will see the fault coming up, and the system is failing. We have alternate flaps now in the stabilizer. We lost the stabilizer, hydraulic, primary fail, pressure demand, hydraulic pressure system, CNR, all of them. So we need to reset back to the on, left and right engine, and the electric. These are also air pressurizer. You can see the electric. So you're gonna have the hydraulic back, and the warnings will go out. Now also you have the window heat here, the passenger oxygen, the electric generators, left and right engine, and also the backup, the battery, primary, alternate, electric. This is mainly the lighting system of the aircraft, the windshield wipers, the wing and engine at the eyes over here, on and off, very important. The cargo and APU fired the auto start system, normal and alternate electronic engine control for the engine, auto start on and off. So you can turn on and off the auto start of the aircraft like this. You can dump fuel in flight if we need to have less fuel for an emergency landing. We lose weight like this. We have the left and the right wing, and the center tank of fuel and the pumps. So I will show you now in a while, and also the crossfeed valves. And here we have the cabin pressurization system. We have it in the auto, also the manual. We can use the outflow valves to close and open the outflow valves to pressurize the pressurized aircraft as we land and descend and select a landing altitude. Also we have here's the pressurizer from the left and right engine, the APU. We can close everything. You will see the systems here are failing. If we come here, you will see bleeder, lost body. Also, we have no cabin pressurization because no duct pressure from the engine. So we lose hydraulic pressure demand C1 and C2. So we have no hydraulics for some flight controls. Also, we have pressurizer. So it's important to have pressurizer. Besides air conditioning here and ventilation of the aircraft. So come now in the multifunction display. We have like 5 more minutes for this whole setup before taking off. So we have the engines here on and off. You can see the status of the aircraft, APU, hydraulic and oxygen, the checklist, normal menu, before start what to do, complete all the items. If we have a failure here, what you need to do with system failed, communication also, navigation, synoptics, and you have the doors of the Boeing 777 are closed, the cabin can be pressurized, the landing gear, you can see the pressure of the tires and the temperature of the brakes, the electrical, it tells you left engine, right engine, backup generators, and the APU also, where the electric goes, and the charge or discharge of the batteries, voltage, main and APU, and also the amperage. Hydraulic fluid pressure 3000 psi, left engine, right engine, and the electrical C1 and C2, hydraulic fluid quantity here, start off valve, and also where the hydraulic fluid goes, which system use hydraulic. Fuel left wing, right wing, center tank, cross yellow bars is empty. The fuel quantity in the left and the right wing, and the total fuel. You can see the low and high pressure fuel into the left and the right wing engine, and the APU is fed from the left wing using the direct current. You can see also the minimum fuel temperature below which it freezes, and the fuel temperature right now. The air, you can see the left and the right wing engine and the APU, cabin pressurization, wing and engine at the air conditioning, and hydraulic fluid pressurization. So if I increase the engine thrust, you will see the duct pressure here increases from the engine. Flight controls here, you can see we can extend and see the flight control position. I can move the flight controls around, horizontal, vertical, tail, also the trim position. So this is another view. You can see everything is working and moving over here on this page. So this is all we need for this. Now we need to go back to make the engine start demonstration. I will set this to the auto start virtual cockpit. So we turn off, we need also some light outside. So we turn off both engines like this, the fuel valves off. You will see we're gonna lose both engines, no fuel flow now, but we have the auto start on. You can see engine auto start right and left, and no fuel flow here. So the pressure, also the rotation of N2 and N1 is decreasing right now, the right and the left engine. So you can see the left engine here. We just need to let the fuel on again, back on. So you will see the fuel flow in the N2 increases rapidly. If we have above 20%, we can start the fuel into the engine. So here we go, both engines are on the right and the left wing. You can see the spinner because we have also fuel inside now. One last step left before we set for takeoff. Set flight management computer over here, and we have like a few more minutes. So we have the initial the menu FM position initialize, set inertial position, the reference airport Lszh. So you can set the inertial coordinates of GPS position. We go into the other page, zero fuel weight, gross weight and fuel on board, and the reserves we're gonna use for this flight. We can select or set it automatically, and the cruise altitude for this flight, and the cost index 100%, the minimum fuel temperature, also the departure and the arrival, airport and runway 14. Select departure over here, standard terminal, departures, trans 02 alpha, and terminal arrivals, the stars, and we connect the flight plan like this. Close the discontinuity, activate and execute, and one last step left, the flaps for takeoff, the center of gravity with the horizontal trim position, and the takeoff speed ready and inserted automatically. So we have all the flight plan ready now for this small flight. We only need to taxi into the runway, so we disarm the parking brakes and advance. Here we are. We have to taxi into the runway. We have like about 18 more minutes left for this video, so we use also the tiller here with the rudder pedals for steering the aircraft. We don't need so much thrust for taxiing into the runway. So we pay some attention. We have other incoming aircraft. We take the takeoff clearance from the air traffic control. You can see we have no other aircraft in the radar over here from the TCAS system. So you can see we use this tiller here for the nose wheel steering. Align with the runway. So we use the parking brakes again. You can see where we are right now, where we're going. I'm gonna give nice view for that, for this takeoff like this. Only decrease the range here, use the LNAV. You will see the scan again, and the waypoint will be flying. Flap set also. Advance the thrust levers forward. The takeoff go around. Thrust you will see here. So we disarm the parking brakes and go and align with the rudder pedals. And we have like 18 more minutes for this. So you can see again how we use the steering. 100 knots now. V1 we rotate, and V2, and to take off we climb a little bit carefully so we won't hit the tail. We have to pay attention here in the pitch ladder, not climb above 10 degrees or anything. So we have positive rate of climb. We tracked the landing gear here. We can use some pitch trim now. So you can see here we are just 2,000 feet above the ground level, 2,200, 300, 400 feet above the ground, but 4,000 feet above the sea level. You can see also the mirrors and the rate of climb right now, 8,000 feet per minute. The pitch altitude of the aircraft, we have to decrease it about 15 degrees. The airspeed 230 knots. You can see also the waypoints here and the terrain reflection, and we have the route we need to follow. So maybe we need to start turning as we keep climb. We have positive climb and just make a small turn. I'll leave hands off right now, maybe a little bit of positive yoke here. So I think the auto throttle now on, so we keep turning. We have some overspeed maybe. So I will show you now the outside view as we keep climbing over here. So we have this beautiful sky here, and we have the Switzerland below us. I will keep climbing. You can see the lakes. So I'll show you here the view of the Boeing 777. We keep climbing. I'm all close up. Now we fly with about 600 kilometers an hour, or 250 meters per second. As we keep climbing, now we need to steer into the flight plan. As we keep climbing, 12,000 feet. We have also this beautiful view of the sky over here. Speeds up a little bit. Maybe we have around 12 more minutes left for this flight to end. So we need let's use this waypoint here. Keep climbing. You can see where we have to steer through this waypoint. Then on the next one, we are 3.5 nautical miles away from this. The first waypoint, we climb through 15,300 feet, and we have the Germany in front of us, the France also in this side. As we keep climbing, I'm gonna climb a little bit higher. You're gonna see the view of that. Keep climbing. We have this nicer view here. We have the lake in front of us. We have like 11 more minutes left for this flight. We keep climbing 19,000 feet. You can see this beautiful view here. 19,000 feet. We're almost 20 now, 1,000 feet. And the next waypoint, you can see we climb with 2,000 feet, 1,850 per minute. You can see the flight directors here. The Mach speed is 0.475. You can see also the stall warning here. Close to the stall speed. We have the flat still extended, and you can see the autopilot modes right now engaged. We are manually flying, autopilot is on, and now the thrust produced from the engines. We keep flying. So we are 32,500, 33,000 almost. So now we have the handrails from outside. You can see the handrails in the country. So this spacecraft tonight, 1.37 yards, 33,934,000 above sea level. So we cross now the Switzerland to Swiss Lake, and we have about 10 minutes left for the video time to end. So we have to take off back. You can see the France on this side and the Germany in front of us. We have the Bayern Munich in front of us. like 80 more minutes left for this flight as we overflying. Over here we have the Germany in this side. As we cross, I told you the Bayern Munich here, the Germany, and the Bavaria and the France in this side. So this is the Bayern Munich in this side, and the Swiss Alps. So I will say a nice view now of the Boeing 777. And we have like 7 more minutes left. So you can see also the chemtrails and the contrails, the galaxy. So hope you like it. My Boeing 777, 300 yards. Now we cross this beautiful lake again as we're going back to this Zurich airport, and we have the galaxies above us, as you can see. So we need to stabilize here and maybe flying manually. So we have a few more minutes left to go. We need to set for landing now. The altitude for landing in a couple of minutes. So here we are, 35,000, as you can see, feet stable, 35,000. 35,500, and we need to start the descent now into the airport. So now we stabilize 35,000, Mach 0.78, and we start the descent to a lower altitude. Decrease also the airspeed request. So we're going manually now. Also the altitude here. So we have the flight level change and the descent. So here we go in descending now. As you can see, you can use also, you can see, keep descending, and we have about 5 more minutes left for this flight to end. 70,000. So we need to make a shortcut for the landing over here. 12,000 feet. Keep descending. Over here you can see where we are. Keep descending again. Closer into the airport and make a turn now. 10,000. Also decrease the airspeed like this as we keep descent. 8,000 feet. Maybe we have like 3 more minutes left before the video time ends. Keep descending. And here we are, we have the runway in front of us. We're almost aligned with the runway. Maybe we can see as we're descending. So we'll decrease the simulation rate. So you can see we have now the approach. We're at 3500. Everything is set for the approach phase. As you can see, we have the Lszh localizer here in the navigation display. We are approaching the airport. You can see everything is set 1400 feet above the ground level, the airspeed, the stall speed, the flaps, the rate of descent. Now we are aligned with the runway. So now we need to make a small adjustment, increase the thrust a little bit, the airspeed as we are getting closer into the runway. You can see we use manual flight controls here, also manual and automatic thrust. We get closer and closer to the runway. We need to keep the setting, align also with the rudder pedals. Decrease the thrust now. We are ready for the flare. $50, $30, $10. Here we are, 10 feet, touchdown, parking brakes and reverse thrust. So here we are, we just touched down the runway, as you can see. And we're slowing down thrust reversals. So we slow down completely. As you can see, here we are in the runway, and you can see everything is normal. The nose wheel, you can see the tires and the strip, the metal parts of the nose wheel. There is no breakage. Also the landing gear here on the left and the right, all the tires are, there is no breakage, and also the metal parts of the wheels, no breakages. And also, as you can see from this side, the nose wheel again is normal. You can see the metal part, no bucklings, nothing. So the aircraft is standing up the way it should be in the runway, so we can fly it again. So that was Thomas Harris, the British American pilot flying the Boeing 777-300 ER 295 from Zurich International.